Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm so excited about this interview. Today, Generation Z is who we're interviewing. Generation Z begins at the year 1996-97 to 2012. They are classified as the iGeneration. This generation is known for being anxious and hardworking. Some think they will end up being the most entrepreneurial generation. Gen Z tends to see morality as relative. They are growing up in a far more diverse world than previous generations. In some ways, Gen Z takes trends that were noticeable in millennials and makes them more extreme. In other ways, Gen Z is simply different. Technology is one of the first aspects of the modern world that comes to mind when asking what major cultural events have shaped Gen Z. And during their lifetime, the internet became a key part of everyday life. Social media followed in the early 2000s, which was in turn followed by the popularity of smartphone. Gen Zers were raised by Gen X, who were the latchkey kids, and Mr. and Mrs. Independent generation. Most Gen Xers had to take care of themselves at early ages of childhood because their parents were boomers, aka the workaholics, but both work. Gen Zers are practical, independent, and competitive, unlike millennials who tend to be more idealistic and value teamwork. This could be a testament of being raised by their very independent parents and hardworking grandparents. Each one of our guests today has achieved some level of success at a very young age. We will dive into a little into the minds of these Gen Zers to see what makes them tick and what motivates them to succeed. So I'm going to start with the first question. We'll go around, and I want to know what is your first name, what is your age, and what is your current occupation, and just a little bit about yourself. And let's start with Lauren.
Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Lauren Moore. I'm 26. I currently have my bachelor's of exercise science and wellness and my doctorate of physical therapy. I went to the University of South Alabama in Mobile. I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida. I'm currently residing in Atlanta, and I currently work as somewhat of a clinical director of two outpatient clinics specializing in personal injury.
Nice. Okay. All right, Arlana.
Hi, I'm Arlana. I'm 26 years old. I have a bachelor's degree in marketing and business management and a master's degree in human resource management. I'm currently employed as an employee relations specialist at a credit union, and that's sort of a category of human resources.
All right. All right. Chandra.
Hello. So my name is Chandra Gibbs. I am 26 years old, and currently I work for T.E.D.R.A, which is a private jet company, jet travel company. My title is a flight coordinator, and I'm also a licensed dispatch coordinator or aircraft dispatcher for this company. Um, I love to travel, and I have my associates in general studies, and I'm working on my bachelor's in aerospace administration.
Nice. Okay. All right, Brianna.
Hey everyone, my name is Brianna Clark. I am 25 years old. I have my undergraduate in marketing and my master's in entrepreneurship and business consulting, both from UWF. I am a owner of a salon here in Pensacola, as well as a co-owner in a marketing agency, which is, all online, so nowhere specific.
Nice. Okay. O'Neill.
Hey, my name is O'Neill Broughton. I am 26 years old. I was born and raised in Pensacola. I work as a clerk in the juvenile division located at the courthouse, particularly as an office assistant. I have my bachelor's in business management with the concentration of human resources. One of my favorite hobbies is cooking.
All right, you're gonna go ahead and start your own business with that.
Or no.
All right. So my next question, you have achieved success at a young age in your early 20s. Everybody here pretty much has. what were your drivers to push you to achieve that level of success? Let's go ahead and start with Arlana.
So I would say my drivers to achieve success in life was really just seeing people that were close to me working in jobs and positions that they were not super happy with, and also were not really funding their lifestyles. They weren't super financially stable in doing those jobs. It just seemed like a lose-lose situation to me that I did not want to be a part of. So I made it a goal to find something that I was interested in and would also fund my lifestyle or my desired lifestyle.
Makes sense to me. Okay, Lauren.
I believe my drivers towards success are definitely my parents, and like you mentioned earlier, my grandparents. Me and my mom actually sat down my junior year and looked at the top 10 fastest growing jobs for the next 10 years. And I knew that I wanted to be in healthcare. I knew I wanted to help people, and I knew I wanted to be happy in the career that I chose. And my mom and dad really instilled that in me, that I want to choose something that I will be happy doing, because I'll be able to carry that long term, make a business out of it, and ultimately be successful all around. So that those are definitely my major drivers towards success.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Brianna?
Yeah, so I always grew up hearing, things like work a job that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And my dad's mindset was, work really hard right now and don't have to work when you're old. You know what I mean? So, I decided that I wanted to take the entrepreneurial route very early because, I didn't want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I saw how my parents did it. I saw how my granddad was, 80 years old and still working. And, I wanted to be able to spend time with family and do all of those things. And it's very difficult, you know, working those hard, long hours. So that is why I took a step back and realized, I want to find something that speaks to me. I want to find something that I'm good at, and I'm going to work as hard as I need um, to accomplish it and, move forward. And maybe, when I'm 40, can retire instead of 95 at this going rate. So,
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay. All right, Chandra.
Um, Obviously my parents pushed me. No. Really I just saw pretty much what everybody's been saying. I knew I didn't want to work in like a basic type job for the rest of my life. I don't want to work when I'm super old. I don't want to, be in that situation. So I just figured I needed to find something that I enjoyed. So I never felt like I had to work, and then find something that also kind of benefited me and my lifestyle and what I wanted to do. And so once I was out of high school, I realized I really liked to travel. Started working at the airport, got a job with Delta. We started flying and traveling around everywhere. And that's when I realized, wow, I really enjoy this. So from that point on, I even started looking towards education. Like, okay, what do I need to do to not only continue traveling how I'm doing, but make more money in this field so I can support myself and travel and do all these fun things that I really want to do. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
Good, good. I'm hearing a lot of just do what you really love. O'Neill, what about you?
I would say my parents were my drivers to help me with my success. Their guidance and wisdom have helped push me to achieve a high level of success. I believe their firm belief in my potential and their constant support have been a foundation of my motivation. They instilled in me the values of hard work and determination and perseverance from a young age that really helped shape me.
Okay, well, good, good. So I'm hearing a lot of your parents help motivate you, and also just doing something that you love. So it doesn't seem like it's work, and you all want to retire early. So that's definitely in line with what the statistics and the research is actually showing. Which brings me to the next question of, well, in an article published in 2015, the New York Times found clear similarities between Gen Z and the silent generation, which is from 1925 to 1945, writing that the parallels with the silent generation are obvious, There has been a recession. Jobs are hard to get. You can't take risks. You've got to be careful what you put on social media. You don't want to taint your record. Besides caution, two other major similarities between the two generations are their entrepreneurial tendencies. And I'm hearing a lot of that in this interview. And their prioritization of their careers. I'm hearing a lot of that too. The silent generation had higher employment rates than other generations, where millennials have the highest unemployment out of all the generations at this time. And the silent generation was characterized by wealth and conformity. So would you say that your generation is like the silent generation of our past? And how are these traits similar to what's in your life right now? So I'm going to start off with Brianna on this one, because this is kind of the entrepreneurial here.
I was like, oh no, not me. No. Yeah, so I was looking into it, and I think yes and no. You know what I mean? My family, very much those who are in that silent generation were terrified of me taking risks. And my brother, a millennial, he was like, do it. What's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? He's like, you lose a job, you're young, you don't have anything to, he's like, you're not raising a family. What's the worst that can happen? Move in with me if anything goes wrong. So when it comes to risk, I was like, I'm never gonna be this young. I'm never gonna have the least amount of responsibility as I do now. My loans and all of that were very minimal. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So on the risk aspect, I think that is where it differentiates. But I think for the rest of it, the things that we went through that maybe shaped us to become entrepreneurial were the same in a sense.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
it's terrifying seeing the economy crash, things like that. And you're like,
Yeah.
I have to, work my butt off for someone else. And then one day they're just going to fire me because they don't have enough money. When instead you can take it into your own hands and make sure that if things happen, it's on you. It's not just having faith in an employer that they're going to take care of you as well as you take care of them. So,
Right. That makes sense. Makes sense. What about you, Lauren, on that question?
I definitely agree with what Brianna said. I think we are similar, but I also think it's a lot of lessons learned. And with my parents and my grandparents, I think that the things that they instilled in me with the risk versus return ratio is to build a solid foundation first, and then you can propel yourself to take the risk. So once I got out of school, I knew that I didn't necessarily want to start my career in Pensacola. That was a big risk for me. Moving to Atlanta, to this big city. I've never really lived in a big city, but the opportunities were there. And so it was worth the risk to me. And my parents actually, now that I'm a lot older and I have more of a foundation in my life or career that I'm pursuing, they push me to go for the risk. Even though I think that the risks are different now, like what you were mentioning, what you post on social media, and things of that nature. You do have to walk a thin line with that. I think the risks are different in that nature, but I think as far as going to get it, I think that being a go-getter, I think that once you start off with a solid foundation, it's worth the risk. Especially being as young as we are. Like Brianna said, I don't have any children. I don't have a family. So I can take those big risks and leaps of faith right now.
Yeah.
And even later on down the line, I feel like I've seen my mom take, risks for her career, my dad and other people in my life and family that have taken, certain risks because it just may be worth it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I like that. Arlana, what about you?
So I will say I'm unlike a lot of my peers, and I am not very entrepreneurial. I am afraid of risk. But on the other side, I definitely prioritize my career. So I see that I see sort of a relation between myself and the silent generation in that. Especially going to social media. I'm not really on social media. I don't post a lot. I don't like having people in my business, especially because of my role. I do see how sometimes that can affect your employment and different opportunities that you can get. And, you know, with prioritizing my career as well, I would say I don't, I definitely still experience a lot of things that my generation are experiencing, but I do feel that I miss out on, you know, like spontaneous trips or just sort of going out and doing what you want to do and not caring, staying up until 5 a.m. Like I personally I can't do that because I'm prioritizing my career. Like that's what's important to me. So I do relate in that aspect. I do not necessarily relate in the entrepreneurial aspect.
Okay, okay. All right, Chandra, you want to wrap it up on this question for us?
Um, yeah, I kind of agree with both. Like I feel like the silent generation back then obviously had to work super, super hard for anything that they wanted and anything that they needed. And that to me parallels to now. Because I mean, yes, obviously we have the basics and everything, but it's still hard. Bills are high, everything's expensive. You still have to know how to budget and, you know, take care of yourself and everything. So career is very important, making sure you have something established and a good foundation. I feel like they were extremely hard workers back then, and I feel like that's how, at least me personally, that's how I have to be. That's how I am. Like I'm not gonna, if I lose the job, I'm not gonna let that get to me. Like I'm gonna go find another job. Like I have that drive, if that makes sense. And I feel like they had that drive back then. So I think that relates to me.
Okay, okay. So O'Neill, tell me, what does your future success looks like?
I feel like my future success is defined by a balanced blend of financial stability and happiness and a fulfilling career. My viewpoint on financial stability is having the resources to happily meet my financial needs, secure my family's future, and support for causes I'm passionate about without the burden of financial stress. My success is also measured by developing meaningful relationships, maintaining good health, and constantly seeking personal growth and fulfillment. For my journey, I would like to find joy and appreciate the balance between material well being and priceless moments that bring true happiness to me.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, what does your success look like, Lauren? Your future success?
I completely agree with everything O'Neill said. Life and work balance, I think that's the biggest thing for me. I think that's definitely what I saw growing up that, you know, that necessarily wasn't a priority necessarily because it just had to be done. We just had to go get it. So I'm trying to set up my life more with having that life and work balance because that's everything to me. Also opening and hopefully like owning my own business, whether that be having my own clinic. I'm currently working on some things up here. I'm trying to establish myself and get clientele so I can do body work, holistic care. So I definitely want to step into a greater role in the healthcare system, whether that's on my own or with a company. But just the life and work balance for me, essentially.
Yeah, it sounds like a life work balance. I tell you, that's perfect right there. What about you, Arlana? What does your future success look like?
I think O'Neill really touched on every single point, but mainly work-life balance as well, which I am starting to get more of a work-life balance. And I also think now that I am becoming more financially stable, I think I want to start looking into forms of like passive income where I'm not having to work as much, but still bringing in more money. Something like rental properties or maybe just investment opportunities. Like I said, a lot of the people that I surround myself with are starting to open up businesses and different things. So maybe partnering with them silently, something like that.
That entrepreneurial spirit. All right. And Chandra, what about you? What does your future success look like?
Uh, I don't know. I have a lot of paths I could see myself going down. Initially, I work for a private company now, but my future goal was to work for a mainline, which is a large, a commercial airline, because they pay pretty good for dispatchers, and that's a good job I could see myself in. However, I am learning that a work-life balance is also just as important as the amount of money that you make. So I'm starting to really consider that as part of what I see my future success to be like. And on top of that, I also, like Orlana said, would like to look into getting like rental properties or something that can be like passive income because I really enjoy doing Airbnb and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you were definitely good at that.
Yeah.
Brianna, what does your future success look like?
Hopefully sitting on a beach somewhere, you know. No, so I when I started all of this, when I decided to take that leap, get out of the rat race per se, I was like, I want to do this so like I said before, so I don't have to work hard in the future. I'm gonna do what I need to do right now, so I'm secure throughout the rest of my life. So hopefully in the future it becomes less of an ownership type of deal and more of an investment side of things. So I
Yeah,
would be someone who invests a lot in others and help others grow, help others' businesses grow. But at the same time, I'm not having to, ignore my family or things like that. I can take family vacations. I can go somewhere and I don't have to be terrified that things are going to go up in flames because I'm not there watching it. Um,
right.
so that financial freedom, but also, like everyone was saying, that work-life balance that comes with both of those, just being secure, not having to be in and out of every single decision that has to be made, but more supporting, kind of like Arlana said, that silent person that's in the back that's here, like, here's the money, make me some more,
I
So
like that. I like that. So I'm hearing a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. I'm hearing work-life balance. That is very important to you guys. And I'm also, hearing career. I mean, you're very focused on your career and because that is your financial stability. And then that's very important to you. So this was awesome. So real quick, I'm gonna go around the room and I want you to tell me who your role model is and one sentence as to why before we wrap up. So let's start with O'Neill. Who's your role model and why?
I have a few, but I would say my mom. She has been a steady, hardworking role model in my life. Her dedication to her career, family, personal growth has left a permanent mark on my understanding of purpose and success. And I just feel like she's the best.
All right, all right. Lauren, what about you?
I would say my mom as well because I'm gonna keep it one sentence. She made the impossible look easy. She really did.
Wow, that's awesome. I like that sentence. Okay, Brianna, what about you?
So mine would actually be my stepmom. Keep it to a sentence. She has always been um, that woman amongst men and showing me throughout my entire childhood that, you don't have to be a man to be successful. Or to, yeah.
All right, all right. Chandra?
I definitely have to say my family entirely, but mostly my mom and dad, just because I've seen from the beginning, like basically starting from nothing. And then you're able, as long as you work hard and know your path and you can see your path ahead, then you can be as successful as you want to be. So, like, look at
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you. All right, Arlana, what about you?
I would say my dad. I also have a lot though, but for now I'll say my dad. He's just very stable. He's always there for everybody, like his family, for me. So I would say him.
Okay.
And very
All right.
supportive.
Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. Well, I really enjoyed this interview, and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen in with us on this conversation with the generation of the future, Gen Z. Success doesn't come easy, but it's important to work at it, building your skills, education, and other income streams to enhance your career progression and economic survivability. Work-life balance is important to these folks. And as these young adults can attest, you are never too young to work at it. And as a quick note, the Everyday Daily Real Adult Nonprofit Learning Organization conducts several other seminars for the everyday adult navigating through life's challenges and processes. Please visit our website at www.tedranonprofitlearning.org for a list of these very insightful seminars and interviews and ways to donate. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate this. This has been very insightful. I would imagine that a lot of business owners, a lot of leaders and managers would want to really hear this interview. I think it's very important for us, but I am to stop